Hello and welcome to my little world. So today I have a story for you that I wrote a very long time ago in the 80s or 90s. I don't even remember exactly when I wrote it, but I think my children were fairly young when I did. When I was 3 years old, I wanted to be a ballerina. So I made up this story about a ballerina mouse, and I hope you enjoy it. Priscilla, the Ballerina Mouse. Once upon a time, there lived a little mouse named Priscilla. Priscilla wanted to be a ballerina. "You can't be a ballerina," said her father. "Who ever heard of a ballerina mouse?" "You can't be a ballerina," said her mother. "You are too little." But just the same, Priscilla wanted to be a ballerina. She lay in her bed at night. She closed her eyes and listened to the music Sam the bear played next door on his bass fiddle. Sometimes Annabelle Ostrich accompanied him on her piccolo, while the river frogs down the hill croaked a steady beat. She imagined herself dancing and twirling on the midnight stars in the sky, and she knew that someday she would be a beautiful ballerina with a blue tutu and sparkles round her neck and a silver tiara on her head. One night, her friend Russell peered into her window. He whispered excitedly, "Come on, I have something to show you. Get out of that bed." Priscilla climbed out of bed and followed her friend over the window ledge. "What are you up to now, Russell? If my parents find me gone, I'll be in big trouble." "Just be quiet and follow me," said Russell, who was always sniffing out adventures, and they usually had something to do with food. Soon, the two found themselves at a little hole in a big wooden building. Russell's eyes lit up as he ushered Priscilla in. "Look, popcorn," he announced eagerly. "Come on!" Russell began to stack the morsels precariously on top of each other in Priscilla's arms. Priscilla, who really could care less about popcorn, but who cared about Russell and liked to join him on his adventures, held out her arms dutifully. Suddenly, her arms sagged limply as a chord of music struck loudly above them. She stared at Russell with her mouth frozen open. Russell began scurrying around, picking up the pieces of popcorn and reassuring her. "Don't be afraid, Priscilla. We won't get caught. Here, hold these." But Russell's words fell on deaf ears as Priscilla turned in a trance and followed the music. Russell hurried after her, trying to balance the popcorn as he ran. Priscilla stopped, her eyes wide with amazement. "Look," she commanded. Russell looked up to see giants twirling and leaping upon a wooden stage that went on forever. They were in a theater, and a production was being performed that very night. Priscilla sighed noisily and stared, enthralled. "Ballerinas," she uttered dreamily. Yeah, Russell said impatiently. "Come on," he urged. "Let's get out of here." But Priscilla refused to move. She stood for the longest time watching. When her legs began to feel stiff, she sank to the floor, never taking her eyes from the dancers. Finally, she nudged Russell. "Come on, we can go home now. The ballet is over." Russell rose sleepily, muttering, "This is the last adventure I take you on." "Oh, no, it's not. We have to come back here bright and early tomorrow," Priscilla announced. "That's when the dancers will be doing their bar work." "Where did you learn so much about ballet?" Russell asked. "I read books, silly," Priscilla replied. That night, as Priscilla climbed between the cool sheets in her bed, She knew for sure she would be dancing on the stars in her dreams. So that is the finish of the first chapter, and I will be reading chapter 2 to you next week, which will be the completion of the story. So I hope you'll come and join me then, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.